The book of Genesis in the Bible recorded a family whose members were not sailors and had no intention to travel, yet they spent a full year on a large ship, sailing not on calm waters, but over a relentless flood. So why did they do this? Thousands of years ago, in a Hebrew family, a boy named Noah was born. This child not only brought comfort to the father, but he also pleased God. Genesis 6 verses 5 through 8 state, "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord." When Noah was 500 years old, he gave birth to 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The world at that time was even more corrupt, and God decided to destroy everything. However, God wanted to keep Noah's family. So he ordered Noah to build an ark, and God gave Noah detailed building instructions. The material used for the ark was gopher wood coated with rosin, which is similar to the present-day asphalt used for waterproofing. So just how big was the ark? Genesis 6 verse 15 states, "The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high." We could see that the length of the ark was 6 times the width and 10 times the height, much like a huge, sturdy, and slightly flattened rectangular wooden box. Although it's not mentioned in the Bible how long it took Noah to build the ark, Genesis 7 verse 6 says, "Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters came on the earth." Well, we can guess that during that period when Noah gave birth to 3 sons from the age of 500 to the arrival of the flood when he was 600 years old, he probably spent the years building the ark, in addition to raising the children and helping them get married. Since the people of that generation were so corrupt, one could imagine that instead of lending a helping hand, they mocked and ridiculed Noah's family, shouting insults such as, "What kind of a monster are they going to build on such a big piece of land?" Anyway, after the ark was built, and 7 days before the flood, God told Noah and his wife, the 3 sons and the 3 daughters-in-law, to enter the ark. Now, some people say the Chinese character for ship symbolizes Noah's 8 family members on the ark. This is quite convincing, based on the fact that the Chinese character for ship combines the symbol for vessel with the symbol for 8 people. So other than Noah's family, who else did God give instruction to enter the ark? Genesis 7 verses 14 through 16 says, "They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, all livestock according to their kinds, every creature that moves along the ground according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, everything with wings." Pairs of all creatures that have the breath of life in them came to Noah and entered the ark. The animals going in were male and female of every living thing as God had commanded Noah. And then the Lord shut him in. So one might wonder, how did Noah know how many animals and birds there were at that time? And even if he knew, it would be so difficult to catch them in pairs. Don't worry, the scriptures told us that God commanded all creatures to follow Noah into the ark in pairs. Others might ask, if Noah's family was the first to enter, who closed the gate of the ark? Well, again, no worry. It's clearly written in the last sentence of Genesis 7, verse 16. "Then the Lord shut him in." Noah entered the ark at the age of 600 and waited until he was 601, when the flood receded and the ground dried up, and the ark then rested on the top of Mount Ararat, and Noah's family disembarked. After Noah came out, the first thing he did was written in Genesis 8, verse 20. "Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it." Since the 20th century, There have been legends and stories about the current position of Noah's Ark, and according to various examinations and verifications, many have accepted that Noah's Ark is now on the top of Mount Ararat on the border between Turkey and Armenia. However, only the exposed part can be seen. By observation, the exposed part is just like the description in Genesis 6, verse 15, a giant rectangular box that is not only stable, but every space can be fully utilized. If we consider the various natural and made-man disasters that we ourselves currently face, in light of the furious floods that hit Noah and his family, how can we keep our ship afloat and survive the storms in our lives? Well, the story of Noah's family tells us three things to keep in mind. First, Noah fully complied with God's instruction to prepare everything. If he had made fancy changes to the blueprint given by God, the result would have been devastating. Genesis 7 verses 11 and 12 tell us that when God came down with the flood, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Under such ferocious water attacks from the sky and on the ground, the ark would have surely capsized, even if it had been built with today's technology. Yet this slightly flat, rectangular-shaped design kept the ark afloat steadily. The wisdom of God makes us marvel. Second, Noah's family, with total and complete obedience, entered the ark at the precise time established by God. If there had been even a slight delay, they might not have been able to get into the ark safely, as the flood had already come fiercely on the first day. And third, Noah completely trusted that God was in control of everything. He deeply believed the ark was not their final residence, and they would ultimately get out and have a new beginning. During the year, they waited for God. Noah gathered his family each day to pray to God. And then, when they got off the ark, Noah built an altar to offer sacrifice to God, thanking Him for the protection. It's written in Genesis 9, verses 11 through 13, that God responded to Noah's gratitude and faith, promising not to destroy the earth again with floods, and using the rainbow as a sign of the covenant. In Psalm 29, verse 10, David the psalmist proclaimed, "The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord is enthroned as King forever." Yes, if we commit ourselves to attain the obedience and faith in God as demonstrated by Noah and his family, we ourselves will be protected by God even when disaster strikes. And like Noah and his family, God will keep us afloat even during the floods of life.